Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today for our webinar, Automate Your Customer Service with Case Management in Dynamics 365 CRM. My name is Katie and I will be the facilitator today. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question area in the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen and we'll answer questions at the end. This session will be recorded and posted on our blog as well as shared with you early next week. Now, I would like to introduce our presenter today, Ricky Ariston, Senior Solution Specialist for Dynamics 365 Customer Engagement here at Encore. Ricky, I will pass it over to you.
Thank you, Katie, and nice to be here with you folks. Right, so today we're talking about how to automate your customer service using case management using Dynamics 365 CRM. There's a few things I'd go through today that are related to enhancement with regards to AI, Copilot being the flagship product of Microsoft. Today, I'm going to cover a few topics. First and foremost is the case management agent. This is the AI component of it. Two subtopics we're gonna cover there is regarding case creation and update, but this time with autonomous AI with Copilot. And then we also have our autonomous case follow-up functionality that's been recently released by Microsoft. This, I guess, in preview mode, but it's going to be released pretty soon in the next coming release waves from Microsoft. And then after that, I'm going to go to Copilot Service Admin Center, which used to be the Customer Service Admin Center and it's now rebranded into Copilot Service Admin Center. Essentially, that's where you go for some of the setting up some of your customer service engagement functionality. Mainly, if you want to have more channels, for example, if you want to have chat, you want to have email, phone call as your channel of communicating with your customer. That's where you set it up. For admins, you have the ability to specify some of the admin settings that you can use for your managing your customer service team. And with regards to that, there's also queues and routing. This is a familiar topic. I'm just going to show you, if you haven't seen this yet, the enhancement has been rolled out recently. We also have case settings where you can configure some of the case automation, auto case creation rule, and all that beautiful and capabilities you have for case management. And then there's a new customer feedback preview functionality that we have, and I would like to show that as well over to you. And then I just want to bring that all together into one quick demo of having case management together with contact center. In this scenario, we will be going through a working demo environment where contact center and case management works together. And that's our topic for today. And I'd like to start the webinar now and show you what the case management agent looks like. All right. I hope everybody can see my screen quite well. This is a familiar, if you are using Dynamics 365 today, this should be a familiar view for you where you can select all of the apps or anything that you want to work on or that you have license for. In this demo, we're going to go to the Copilot Service Admin Center. I can select that here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so case management AI is within the case settings section of Copilot Service Admin Center. You'd see it at the top right now. It's very prominently featured and AI Copilot labeled. And if you click Manage, this is where you'll see the two different functionality or features the case management agent can provide for you. Now, this feature right now is in preview mode, so you'll see some of these messaging from Microsoft saying so. If you are in North America and I think part of Europe, you will have access to this already. and there's it's going to be released in the upcoming free release wave. So if you have enabled your environment to receive early updates, you might have it already, if and available for you to play around with in a demo environment or a sandbox. First thing I want to show you today is case creation and update with autonomous AI. Let's get into it. All right. So here I've done some pre work here, but currently there's two channels that you can use to do this autonomous to have this autonomous AI assistance enabled for, which are the two most common channels anyway. That being chat and email. Okay. When you do this for the first time, you can go through a guided setup with the case management AI setup, or you can simply manage it and set the settings up yourself from here. What it's going to ask you is what channel, first and foremost, so you can choose either chat or email or both, and then you will have to be you'll be prompted to select what fields you want to use for AI prediction. So AI in this case would be Copilot. All it's gonna do is look at those fields and it will come up with some recommendations for you. Okay, in this example, there would be some default case title, type, contact, and customer. I've added contact and customer, but description, priority, and subject are some of the few ones out of the box that it will give you as an option. There's also an option for you to create rules for cases if you want to automate some of the updates. Okay, and then you can have some representative access. So this is if you want to go even further and use profiles. We're not gonna go over that. That'll be something to tackle in a different webinar. But it's a very powerful and new functionality that Microsoft has offered, that has released for us to use. Here's where you can do what they call a managed setup. Not gonna go through there, but if you go to your Copilot Service Admin Center and go to Home, click on Manage Setup, and you can go through the whole channel setup for your environment here. But in this case, I have enabled it already for chat and email. All right, and yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna go through the case update rule and how to create one. Here, very simply, you just need to create the rule given a name. So in this example, you can set a condition for like first 30 days. And then you can say add a condition. And in this row, you can say if the case age is between or equals, let's say, 15 days. Sorry, 30 days, right? And then you can do a save on that one. So basically what we're saying is if a case reaches age 30, then we can have the update rule run on those cases. And here you have more choices of what you want to specify for your prediction rule here. Okay, not gonna go through that. Okay, and just gonna do refresh. So I guess the idea here that Microsoft is trying to help us on is, instead of having your workforce, your customer service representative team managing and maintaining, proactively looking at certain cases and having to be, creating different views dashboards to monitor case age, for example. In this way, you can have autonomous AI doing that for you, and then doing task for you. So depends upon your business process. This rule can automate some of the things that otherwise would have to be manually done today. Quite frankly, it's being done by team leads, and you can automate some of those, and in fact, it will eliminate some of those missed cases that quite frankly can just go through the cracks and be missed by a human who's maintaining this manually via dashboards and views. This way, it's automated, it will run, and you'll always have your rule running for you, whatever that may be, matching your business process. All right, now I want to go back to case settings here. Go back there, click manage. There's also the autonomous case follow up and resolution. So, touching on the update part rule, this one here is something that I've set up as well, where you can even go further, and instead of having a SLA, it will just automatically run a follow up scenario for you. So if, for instance, a certain case has been on in this example, waiting for detailed status for about X for the last 30 days, and you can specify the length of time you want, then we can say, please send the first follow up after 24 hours. And then after that first follow up, send another follow up, and then another one. So today, to do this, it can be done. However, it's not as easy as this. You will have to create Power Automate. You have to trigger that by So it's a more rigorous process to do this today versus with using this functionality, this case follow up functionality. You can now have this done via a setting that you can create rules on. So it's becoming more and more simpler for us to be able to do so, right? And all this does is really create a rule. What's the rule? So again, basing on your business process, you can set up whatever rule you want to have for following up. So in my example here, I said if it's been modified in the last 30 days and it's still on the waiting for details status reason, I want to be able to close this case, and so I want to start following up at that point. Now, it can be as early as 5 days for your business process if you want, or you can have a different rule altogether, right? Let's say you have escalated on, and your escalated value, right? So for all cases where it's escalated, I want to be able to, and if the status reason is researching, then I can set the number of times of follow-ups I want, either one, two, three, or four, or five. If I say three, then I can specify the amount of time to wait per follow-up, per those follow-up instances. Okay, and then it would just send out a notification to those affected customers. And that's really the powerful the new powerful functionality that Microsoft has provided us. Now, what you can do is you can have multiple rules running in parallel. So you can have rule for modified on last 30 days, and you can have rule for a different process altogether. Let's say that escalation, right? Or some other ones that you can have here as well. So it's not just, you're not confined to one rule. Now, I don't know what the limit is currently for the number of rules that you can have, but uh, the last time I tested, I had four or five running at the same time, and it was I was able to activate them and test them. So it's a very good tool, very good feature to have, and very important if you have a very busy and manual process right now for following up and also monitoring your caseload. This is yet again another feature that Microsoft has provided with AI Copilot assistants that will automate some of those tasks for some of those manual tasks for you. And it doesn't really even require creation of any Power Automate flow or anything like that. It's a simple setting that you can create here. And that's what I wanted to cover about case management AI. So this one is a fairly new functionality. Like I mentioned earlier, it's still in preview mode for some areas. You may not have this in your area depending upon the region you're on. But if you're like me, who's in North America, specifically in Canada, this one is something that's available for preview already, and it might be released. I need to confirm, but it's probably going to be released in the next release wave. All right. Katie, at this point, I want to move on to Copilot Service Admin Center. I'd like you to see this one. I set up another environment for you where I have Copilot Service Admin Center settings up and running. So let's go there, Contact Center Admin Center. Here is your, admin dashboard, your control center, if you will. I just want to make sure that I highlight certain functionalities that you currently have. It has been really painful for me to work with some of my clients that have been using Dynamics for a long time and not really fully utilizing the capability of Microsoft and the licenses that they're paying for. And so because of that, I want to highlight a few things that you might be not be using or utilizing for your own system, for your dynamic system. So here's one under Contact Center Admin Center. There is a way for you to manage channel, okay, and set up a lot of other settings for that. Right now I'm showing you Contact Center, which is specific to chat. But if we go back to that previous environment that I had, here you'll also have channels, and in fact, if you click Manage Channels here, you'll have more options. Okay, so this is the Copilot Service Center. You'll have voice, chat, social, SMS, and Microsoft Teams. I'm using a trial version, so some of these things are, because most of these things are pay as you go and would require licenses. They're currently disabled for me, so I apologize if I can't demo that over to you. But this is where you would be able to set up your IVR, your chat, even Microsoft Teams. A lot of our clients we're seeing more and more are utilizing Microsoft Teams as their part of their customer service channel where they communicate because it's seamless, right? So that's something that we've been seeing more and more. Some other things that you can see here as well is the search. Let me go back to this one here. We have search admin settings, and here you can find things for your managing your customer support experience from an operation point of view and from a reporting point of view as well. So if I explore one of all of these ones, you'll see if I click on this one, it says user management. So here I can actually set up contact center personas, right? So in this example, I have somebody who I have said this is the agent and a supervisor as well, and then one that's just limited to supervisor. Now, if I build this out some more, right, I can update their skills. I can also update their queues. So if I select one, sorry, and I update skills, then I can add certain skills for this contact center user. And then simply add that to their user base. Now, where is that going to be helpful? It's going to be helpful once you start building out your automation here, because in the contact center framework, or I guess the way you can use it, you can automate the assignment of and routing of certain chat conversation, SMS messages, Teams notification, cases, emails via certain skills and via certain queues. Okay, so that's yet another functionality that is being underused at the moment. So I'm just gonna go back to search admin and there's few more in here. So there's the skill hub. So before you can assign skill, you have to create them, right? You need to kind of have your own skills lined up so you can just simply assign them once it's created. I don't have one right now, but if you want to do that, you can do this here. And in here, you can simply create a skill, right? And then you can say skill, maybe this guy's more related to technical product. All right. And then you want to create that. And then once you've created that skill, all you can open that up and you click add users to it. So in this example, I can add this specific user, and now he or she will be given the skill of technical product. So you not so yeah, so if I want to use skill as part of my routing rule, then now I can have a specific routing rule where technical related questions can go to people with a technical product skill. Okay. And then if I go back again one level, there's also the security role. So this is the familiar one of the here collaboration, right? So meaning integration using Teams if you have Teams channel enabled, and you have collaboration customer support swarming if you have swarming configured as well. I'm gonna go through swarming and integration using Teams because this is again in preview mode for now. But those are some of the new settings that you can play around with. I think skills is a good first step towards having a more robust and more streamlined contact center or customer service team. Definitely, I haven't seen a lot of companies that I've been dealing with using Skills Hub for their case management. So it's something that is there, it's available, and can be used. And quite frankly, I think it's a very useful tool. All right, so that's the search admin setting. Now, in relation to this, I've been mentioning queues and routing. Queues, we all know what they are. Although, again, this is to me, it seems like underutilized. What queues are essentially staging where your customer support request lands into. So they're kind of a holding stage for until somebody is ready to pick up those items and work on them. So that's what queues are. But I want to focus on routing here, right? Because routing is one of those things that you can start building more, and it will just simplify and eliminate cases or requests that are missed by your process. So in this example, right, you can create a new routing rule set. I'm just gonna open up the existing one that I have for the a queue that I created, and let's review that together. So in this routing rule, I just have a simple rule criteria. If you receive a web or a phone case origin, then I want you to add that to the OS channel setup case queue. Okay. And what happens is if you have a website, so example is you have a portal like what I have here. If they create a case here via chat or via if you decide to have ability for them to create cases and report cases themselves, a self-service functionality, then they can simply then this would be how you would set that up so it gets automatically routed to the right queue. Okay. Now, why you do that is very simple. You want cases go to people with who can help with those topics. And depending upon your business process, again, I've been saying that a lot. It's because it's true. If you have a self-service portal, normally your queue would be streamlined because you can ask them questions on what the topics are, and then you can create a rule corresponding to those topics. So now you can have multiple rules here going to multiple queues, and that allows you to provide the best possible customer service to your clients or your customers, because now their cases and their requests are going to the most appropriate people and the most skilled or the most knowledgeable about that particular topic. All right. All right, so that's what routing is. We've already gone through case setting, and this is where you see your case management agent. There's a lot of other things that you can do here. Some of the most common ones are setting up auto record creation rules. I haven't done that in this environment, but if you want to create a new record creation rule, what it does for you is you can kind of say, I want to monitor a certain type of activity, right? So if you have an inbox, like you have a support mailbox or a help mailbox, and inquiries go onto that mailbox, so obviously it's not going into your CRM as a case right away, but you do want to create a case for it, right? Then you can say email to case as a new rule. And then in here, because the emails are going to you via queue, you can select the queue that you have. So let's say, let's pick something random here. Okay, so yeah, so for instance, if it's going to Alan Steiner's queue, all right, and it's an email, I want to then be able to, I'm just going to hit save on that one, create a condition, right? So if I say um, an email is received by Alan Steiner, right? And okay, let's say, um, okay, so let's say the activity type is, let's say, a booking, yeah, a booking alert via an email, right? So booking alert via email, right? So if I receive an email that's for a booking alert, so the activity type is email and it's equal to booking alert value, right? And so that's my condition. I want a case to be created for that. So this is where you do it, right? So I've just set it up right here very quickly as an automatic case creation rule where if an email comes in and that's for a booking alert, I want a case to be created for that. Simple as that. And then hit close. Now you have it here. The last step that you have to be aware of is whether or not you want to have an automatic reply or not. Depending upon your business process, you can select the one that's most appropriate for you. And in my case, I want to select yes. And then I want to select a specific acknowledgement template, right? I want to send that out, save that. Once I have all those settings configured, I can then activate that rule. And what it does is now any emails that have a booking alert value in it would be automatically converted into a case for me, and an email will be sent out to that customer who sent out that email. Isn't that neat? So that's where that's how you can create. That's how can you automate case creation using the automatic record creation rule. And that's one of the few things that you can see here under case settings. There's more here. I don't have time to cover all of them, but there's very, very powerful functionalities that you can use here. Subjects being one of them. Similarity rules is a good one here. If you want to have your AI recommending similar cases, if a case agent is working on a case, that would even expedite their response and their resolution time. So many good stuff that you can see and configure from case settings. Okay, and then I'm gonna move on to the customer feedback preview functionality. This one has recently been we've been made aware of this. The user community has been looking forward for this. A lot of companies do send out surveys, right? To gather customer feedback. Well, guess what? Now there's a customer feedback functionality specifically built for that. Okay. And all you need to do is build out a survey here. Okay. And once you build the template, you see what Microsoft is doing here, making it so simple for us to do this. You go through almost like a wizard, right, of how to create one. Here you can select the templates that we have available. If none of these first three satisfies you, go click a blank one. Okay, there's more, but you can explore that on your at your convenience. You can give in the name, give in the language, and then review and finish. So this one is a very interesting and I think, in my opinion, useful tool. Not only from a marketing standpoint, knowing what your customer wants, but also from a customer service feedback loop. And now it's just in one functionality where you can set that up, and you can have as many surveys as you want. Okay, so you can have different kind of survey. You can have this customer satisfaction survey, or you can have an NPS survey, which is more for if you're business to business. This one's more, in my opinion, business to consumer. And then some other things like customer effort score, or if you have your own, you can simply create them here. Okay, so that's customer feedback. I just want to highlight that for everyone to know. It's again in preview, but it's a very important tool. And and together with some of the other things that we've already gone through, this provides you a whole end-to-end management and control of your whole customer service team or department. Um, and it's all under your fingertips. Really, it's in a nice. It's consolidated into the Copilot Service Admin Center. The prerequisite is you need to have the system admin access or customizer access to be able to modify some of these things. To view it, you just simply need to have the customer service role, manager role. You can see most of these and review them yourselves. Okay, so that brings us to the last thing I want to show today, which is bringing together contact center and case management. And what I've done here is actually created a demo environment here. Okay, so I created the portal. I added a chat widget here, which is if you click it, open, it will you be utilizing Copilot. Okay, there's an out of the box one that they had coming with the portal, but in this case, I replaced that with this chat for Copilot. And then what it does is, and bear with me here for a second, just gonna open up the environments here. Okay, so all right, so I'm simulating a agent, a customer service representative, and a customer in this demo. So I'm a customer right now going into the portal and I need support. And the idea is that I can go in here, try to solve my problem first using Copilot or talking to an agent. And once I get to a point as a customer where the Copilot agent cannot help me any further, I can always, at any point in that conversation, have my chat escalated to a customer service representative. In this case, it's my account and I'm currently set to be available. Okay, and I'm on my contact center workspace app. All right, so let's initiate that. Let's start from the portal as a customer. I'm coming in here, hi, and I'm just typing here the message that I want to ask. I need more information, let's say, about your products. Okay, something that a lot of your customer might ask for. And here you'll see that it's actually looking for your in your through your knowledge sources. And in this example, it's going to the Dataverse. All right, and it found you some of the products and it replied right to that message from the customer, and it actually provides some sources as well. Now, this is a demo site once again, but Here it says citation one will be cost of return. There's also citation two and citation three, and then it gives you a pretty robust response. Okay. Now, if this answered the customer's question, then that's the end of it. The user would give the acknowledgement and say thank you, and this chat will be recorded. But let's just say that this customer is not satisfied, and I need more information. Okay. What it does again is it will, because that prompt is very vague, right? It's not clear. It will again try to go through the knowledge source and do the same kind of thing. And at this point, let's say the customer is not happy with the response, and they go, I want to talk to a representative. There. Now it's saying transferring you to a live agent. And what that does is, here, if you're the agent that's available to pick up that specific chat conversation, it will give you a prompt on your workspace, and you can either accept or reject, and it gives you a countdown of how many more seconds you have to accept this conversation. And let's say I want to accept that. Okay. So after hitting accept, what it does is it opens a new tab for me. Now I'm Ricky, I'm the customer service agent. Here, it gives you first and foremost a summary of the conversation. Okay, so you don't even need to read through the script, it just gives you summary right away. Right? That's amazing. You can copy that if you want to add that on your notes for this conversation. And here you can start having that conversation, and you can say hi. Right now, we don't have a user for this guy yet because they're coming into the system without logging in. So I can ask this person who you are, right? So can you please? So you can say, um, who am I speaking with, right? To identify your customer, and you'll see that prompt. Anyway, it's just gonna go back and forth like this. Let's say I say my name is Alan Steiner, right? I'll get do that, and then I'll just say add a new contact, and go through that whole process for so that you can attach this conversation, Alan Steiner, okay, and hit save. Okay, so at this point you're already on your regular customer service flow. Um, yeah, and then from here you can proceed with resolving this person's issues, or you can just end that call. So you can say, "Is there anything else I can help you with?" Now, I want to bring your attention to some of the things that you see here on your screen. You have other stuff that you can do. You can have a quick reply. There's a quick reply. You can set this up so it shows for every single agent in your company, right? So you can say, have I answered your question today? So if you don't want to type, you can transfer this chat, or you can consult with the other available agents, sorry, not agents, customer service representative on your team. Okay. And then there's also the Copilot tool. So if you want to summarize that again at the end, you can do so by clicking that button. So there's other options for you there. And let's say, thank you for chatting. I'm just gonna send that out. I will get that message myself here. I'll say thanks. Close that call, and there you go. So what it'll do for you at this stage is, now you've managed to actually utilize contact center on your portal, right? And that portal is connected to your customer service workspace, your contact center workspace, in which case, if a human or a customer service representative is required to resolve the chat, then they can be transferred here by the Copilot agent to any available customer service representative, right? Isn't that something? That's a very powerful tool, in my opinion. And it's all without coding, right? I didn't even create a single Power Automate to set those up. That was just built completely using the Contact Center Admin Center and also the Copilot Service Admin Center to set up the chatbot that I had on this website. And that brings me to the end of my demo. That's all I have that I wanted to cover today. Is there any questions? Let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer them.